affinity scamming and by association. And if you get some pump and dump, which is a tried and true way to try to extract money from losers, whether it's in a casino or elsewhere, this is like another version of that. So it has this market, like the NFT market, which I don't know if you remember that even 2 years ago. And it was a pump and dump for about 18 months. And this company called Ocean, somebody or other, or something great, OpenSea, with a bunch of NFTs, and all of them have dropped 95, 98, 99%. That's like, basically, it was just a pump and dump. This is another pump and dump. They're trying to affiliate scam Bitcoin, to make it look like there's something, because all these other things are just now, everything against Bitcoin goes to zero, and same thing with Ether. So this is just the latest version of a scam.
Max Keiser asserts that, over an extensive period, everything inevitably trends towards zero compared to Bitcoin. This assertion encompasses not only fiat currency but also other cryptocurrencies. Keiser emphasizes Bitcoin's unstoppable nature in his latest message. In a recent discussion with Stacy, Keiser elaborated on why Bitcoin stands as the ultimate cryptocurrency. He shared insights on Bitcoin's trajectory in 2024 and offered market predictions. Additionally, Keiser provided analysis on Ethereum and various altcoins, navigating the ever-evolving landscape of digital assets. Beyond Bitcoin, he underscored the challenges of maneuvering through bull and bear markets, stressing the significance of resilience and conviction amidst volatility. Stay tuned until the end of the video, where Keiser reveals a critical mistake Bitcoiners are likely to make during the bull market. Before we continue with the rest of the video, do check out daily 5-minute crypto newsletter with all the latest crypto and Bitcoin news. It's a fantastic analysis of on-chain crypto data and breakdowns, and the best part is it's absolutely free. They'll cover expert predictions, breakdowns of on-chain crypto data, and any breaking news you need to know, all in a nutshell. Click the first link in the description and enter your email to join over 50,000 others in becoming a better crypto investor right now.
Successful people they cop to their mistakes and try to figure out why they made a mistake and how do I do better. The people who are not successful tend to pretend like they never made the mistake. They want you to ignore that as a mistake, and they just do the same mistake over and over again. And expect different results, right? And I think also on this 2017 period, 2016 period, which was the explosion of the scam of that era, the ICO, initial coin offering, this is when, and turning down all these deals, millions and millions of dollars to do all these deals, they had to say no. This was the beginning of Bitcoin maximalism for me, because it was at that point that I decided to, we're going to go down this path of Bitcoin only, Bitcoin maximalism, and try to develop a brand that is Bitcoin maximalism. What does that brand mean? And so then in 2020, when Michael Saylor appeared, he became the poster child really for Bitcoin maximalism. But I think it percolated up. I mean, the cypherpunks were always maximalist in their own way. And then 2017, 2016, we started to hew toward maximalism. And then I think Michael Saylor kind of coined the playbook for maximalism from 2020 going forward. I think that's how that kind of codified.
Because I know how they work. I know how the IMF, like we talked about it.
It's centralized.
They centralized.
It's centralized, therefore vulnerable. And to Stacy's point about being a nation state here in El Salvador, the maximalism, then into El Salvador, it became natural for the country to adopt a maximalist position as well, because it dovetails perfectly with the president and what he stands for and his idea of economic liberty. And also the calculation was made that Bitcoin maximalism, the benefits far, far outweigh a 10,000 to 1, any possible incremental gain by entertaining any shitcoin whatsoever. Cannot possibly add any. So ordinals are basically similar. They're people who are attaching or vandalizing or attaching graffiti or what have you to Bitcoin. And because Bitcoin's immortal, and because Bitcoin is a beautiful piece of art that'll last for the rest of time, they are by association feel like they are somehow sharing in the spotlight of Bitcoin. And also these people who throw soup at the Mona Lisa, they have some kind of cause. Like they say, we're protecting the environment, or we're protecting, the right, some activist right.
Sure.
And same thing with ordinals people. They believe that they're doing something that's socially responsible. I forget exactly what they're trying to do, or say that they're doing, but they have some philosophical message behind it that even Aristotle.
There's a comedic one too. They pretend they're funny. They really, really think they're funny. And if you go see them, they put on a wizard costume and go up on stage and say they're funny, and you're like, okay, wow. This is not funny. But Jimmy Song just wrote about this.
Yeah.
And he compared it to Mastercoin, which, it's just an age-old trick, right?
Let's explain what an ordinal is first. Just
I don't think so,
No,
because
it's just a JPEG.
it defies explanation. It's like
it's
just
dumb.
why he's it's like garbage. That's
okay.
It's not even as simple as a JPEG. It's like a JPEG, but worse, like a degraded virtual reality AI version of it. And very complicated. Basically, you pay like a Bitcoin for one sat. Okay. And that,
wow.
I mean, that's funny, right? It's kind of funny that you can find like hundreds of people that willing to do that. It's like, it's like Times Square in the 70s or 80s, right? You can see some wacky things that tourists do.
The show world.
So it's like you're scamming Bitcoin tourists, right? You're selling them, you're taking 2 Bitcoin for them and giving them 1 sat, and they're like, and that's it. So, but we had something back in 2012 or 13 called Mastercoin, and they did a thing, or maybe it was a little bit later, but they raised a whole bunch of Bitcoin and introduced this layer called Mastercoin. And basically they never built anything, because that's the incentive model. That's the thing about Bitcoin, right? Is the incentive model is what keeps the whole system running. If you give somebody, here's Jeff Bezos level money for your idea of building Amazon. Would Jeff Bezos have built Amazon, or would Elon Musk have built SpaceX, Tesla, and all that stuff if you said, here's 300 billion? He would have been like, especially as a young guy, you're maybe like, well, I'm just going to go be a playboy around the world.
I'll
Right?
take the money. Thank you.
I'll be in Vegas.
Yeah.
Going to see
and that's
Danny
pretty
Gantz.
much what always happens with those tokens that do a pre-sale. And so Mastercoin became an embarrassment, and they renamed it Omni. But that is like just this week. It's just like they're turning it off, essentially. It's over.
Oh, it's finally turning it off.
Yeah, basically, because the only thing it was still used for was some tether, but that's gone. There's that's basically what we're seeing with the ordinals. It's just a second layer. They're trying to promote a second layer. They're trying to pretend they're comedians, and they're like a woman comedian, basically. What Max is saying.
It's the latest scam, essentially. But I like my, it's like vandalism, in that regard. But I'm like thinking about it when I think about it in trying to come up with something. This is kind of what I come up with. But at the bottom of the whole cesspool of it's worthless, stupid shit that will be forgotten soon and replaced with another scam. Like the scams keep coming. They just rename them. They give them a different name. Like Jimmy Song was saying, this is just Mastercoin with a different kind of.
Yeah, this is going to be this cycle though, because, the thing is the U.S. regulatory agencies and Department of Justice are all over anybody who creates one of these tokens now, right? So what they're doing instead is launching layer 2 on Bitcoin. They're using the name of Bitcoin because that's the only one that everybody in the world, even Wall Street, figured it out, that it's just Bitcoin. Bitcoin is where that Bitcoin is something special. And they might not understand, Wall Street, Larry Fink might not understand why Bitcoin is special, but he knows that's the one to sell.
Their Ether was the coin that with NFTs that they were attaching the shit to, because Ether still had a life. It still would look like it might be something. But now that it's just dropping like a stone against Bitcoin, all the scammers have migrated from ETH to Bitcoin.
So some of the bigger shitcoins, like this one called Tron, it's just announced that they're moving on to Bitcoin. So they're layer 2 on Bitcoin. So this is going to be this cycle as when Bitcoin gets to 60,000, 70,000, 80,000, 100,000, 125,000, as it climbs up that parabolic ladder, you're going to see crazier and crazier stuff being offered on there. Max's yo-yos, like Duncan will probably start offering yo-yos on the blockchain, on the Bitcoin blockchain in particular. And, that's what you're going to see next. And it'll work. It's comedy in a way. People will continue to give a Bitcoin for 1 sat and not be able to add up the math.
Well, that's what Stacy says. The bear markets are difficult, but the bull markets are more difficult.
That's what with El Salvador, what the Bitcoin office does, and what Max and I have been doing here for this whole time, is that's one of the things we do is we try to convince the best and brightest to come adopt El Salvador as their headquarters, their home, their spiritual home, their real home, their physical home, to move here, to come here. And the thing that we benefit from is that we have been around forever. Like, we're old, we've been in Bitcoin since 2011. So we know the people who are, smart enough, intelligent enough, good businessmen, agile enough to survive the bear markets. And those are pretty brutal. But more importantly, have survived like 4 or 5 of the bull markets, because that's the hardest. That's actually more difficult to survive in Bitcoin than the bear markets.
How so?
Because if you're a big name, if you are in any of those, you get tempted to be a scammer. Like, you're offered. The 2017 one was pretty crazy. I mean, we received daily 4 or 5 offers to Max. Max was, this is before Saylor and all these big Wall Street names and stuff like that. There weren't that many huge names, famous names in Bitcoin. And Max was certainly super famous back then in terms of, recognition, name recognition. So people were offering like 1,000 ETH or like huge numbers to promote all. And they were really like, you don't have to do a single thing. All we need is your name on our website and a photo of you. And they were offering a lot of money. And we know a lot of people who took that offer, and none of them are around anymore. None of them in Bitcoin space. Individually, I guess some could work their way back if they are humble enough and, admit their wrongdoing or whatever. But the higher up you go, whether it's a corporation or certainly a nation state, and that's why we do what we do, is because you can't make that kind of mistake as a nation state, right? Like,
Max Keiser exudes unwavering confidence in the transformative potential of Bitcoin, with Stacy Herbert providing depth to their enlightening conversation. Their discourse highlights Bitcoin's resilience against external factors such as ETFs, reaffirming its unstoppable trajectory. They explore topics including Bitcoin maximalism, Ethereum, altcoins, and the complexities of bull markets, offering valuable insights into the evolving crypto landscape. Ultimately, Max and Stacy's discussion underscores Bitcoin's enduring strength and its pivotal role as a catalyst for change in the financial realm. Their insights instill confidence in the future of crypto, leaving us eager to witness the ongoing evolution of this transformative technology. For more Daily Dose Crypto news, check out these 2 awesome videos on your screen. Click now and we will see you on the next video.